Hi friends, this is a project that I thought especially kindergarten would do. I usually do this project in kindergarten every year, and first graders and second graders are welcome to draw along with me, and maybe even third graders. But anyway, I like to call this the magic flower. And over here you can see one that I completed of the magic flower. And the reason it's magic is because we make it grow from just using our crayons. So what you need for this project is some computer paper. You also need crayons. You also need a scissors and some cardboard. And like I said, if you don't have cardboard, you can use the back of cereal boxes. You can use the backs of tablets. And then we also need glue. So, and maybe a pencil and a ruler. So anyway, the first thing I did, just like the piece pinwheel, we had to start with a square piece of paper. So 8.5 by 11 is the size of computer paper. So what we need to do is measure 8.5 inches and 8.5 inches, and then connect that line just the way I did here. And if you don't have a ruler, maybe you can just judge, because what it is, it's 2.5 inches, and that will make it a square. And then you're going to cut that square out just like this. Okay, just like that. And then we have a square piece of paper. Now, the next thing we want to do is grow our flower. So first we need to plant the seeds. And you can use whatever color you want in your crayon collection. And you want to find the middle of your paper. So, where would my middle be? Do you think it would be right here? No. Do you think it would be over here? No, that doesn't look like middle. But what about right about here? Yes, that looks like it could be the middle. So what I want you to do is draw some different shaped seeds right around the middle. Maybe you want square seeds. Maybe you want round seeds, or triangle seeds, or rectangle seeds. Just like that in the middle of the paper. In this one over here, I use different colors for my seeds. So it's up to you. Do you want them all to be one color, or do you want them to be multicolored? So once you're finished planting the seeds, you have to use your imagination, and we're going to pretend we have a sprinkling pan, and we're going to water those seeds. And before you know it, petals are going to start to grow. So I'm going to start here with a red crayon, and I'm going to think of a different shape. Maybe I'd like to think of a square shape, and I'm going to draw a square petal. And then as I go around my seeds, I'm going to continue to draw my square petals. And the best way to do this is to turn your paper, draw a petal, turn your paper, draw a petal, turn your paper, draw the petal, until you've reached the first petal, just like that. See that? Now use your imagination again. What shape petal do you want to do this time? Maybe you want to do an oval petal. So let's change our colors, and I'm going to go to sort of a purpley blue color, and this time I'm going to make an oval petal, and I'm going to start on one corner of my square or rectangular petal and loop it to the other corner. And I'm going to do that right in here and turn, and I'm going to do it right in between these two rectangular petals and in between these two and in between these two, and I'm turning my paper every time I add a new petal. And here's one over here, just like that. Now it's getting bigger. My magic flower is growing. So what color petal would you like to do this time? Let's see, I used blue, I used red, I didn't use any green, I didn't use any yellow, so I didn't use any blue. Why don't we try some green? I'm going to use this lime green. And let's see, what shape? Have we used any triangle shapes yet? No, I don't see any. So let's try triangles. In between these ovals, I'm going to connect one part of an oval to another, and I'm going to make a triangle. And I'm going to turn and draw my triangle. Turn and draw my triangle. Turn and draw my triangle. Turn, draw the triangle, and turn, draw the triangle, turn, and draw the triangle. Now let's take a look at our flower. It's gotten even bigger. Is it finished growing yet? No, I think there's room. Look here, I see room around the paper. So let's see, what petal should I try this time? I have triangles, I have sort of rectangular squares, I have ovals. Do I have any circles? No, I don't have any circles. So let's come in here and pick a new color. Perhaps you'd like to see some blue. So this time I am going to connect the points of the triangles to make large circles. So watch this. I'm going to go from corner to corner, corner to corner, and around I go, growing my flower even bigger. It certainly is a magic flower. And another one over here, turning my paper as I go. Now let's take a look at the flower. Is it finished being grown? I think it might be. It reached the edge of my paper. So now I just have an outline. So it's time to do some nice coloring. And when you start doing the coloring, you could choose the same color as the outline, or maybe you want a different color. So let's see. I'm going to start to color in my rectangular square type of petal. Nice even coloring like this. Now, this is one way of coloring the petal. There is other ways you can do this, and I want to show you that. Okay, so what about let's take a look at these circular petals. Let's skip, and I'm going to go to that blue that I used, and this time I'm going to do a faded color, or sometimes we call it ombre. And what you do for that is you start out pressing pretty hard on your crayon, but then as you spread to the edges, you go lighter and lighter. So I'm pressing hard in the beginning, and then I'm not putting as much pressure on my crayon, and I'm going lighter and lighter. Pressure in the beginning. Oh, so much pressure I just broke my crayon. And then I'm going to go lighter and lighter. Okay, and I'm coming around with pressing hard and then going lighter. And did you notice what happened? My broken piece of crayon does not have any paper on it, and it makes it easier to do that lighter color. I'm pressing hard and I'm going lighter and even lighter. Two more to do. Pressing hard, going lighter, going lighter. One more. Pressing hard, going lighter, and going lighter. Now, I could finish coloring the other petals, but let me just show you one more thing you could do in place of coloring, or maybe in addition to coloring. I'm going to pick some purple, and what I'm going to do to the triangle petals is I'm going to draw 2 stripes, and I'm going to turn it, draw 2 stripes, turn, do 2 stripes, turn, 2 stripes, turn, 2 stripes, turn, 2 stripes, turn, 2 stripes. Now look at this flower. How about one more thing? We could do polka dots. We could do spots. I'm going to take some orange and I'm going to start doing some orange polka dots on my oval petal. So we have some spotted petals. Tiger lilies, which grow in the summer, have spots on them like this. And you might think of other flowers that have spots on them. And here we go. All right, now I'm going to start doing the next step of this flower, and that is to cut it out. So I'm going to take this scissors and I'm going to come around here. It's really nice to end with a circle petal just because it makes it easier to cut out. But if you do end with triangles or rectangles, you just have to take your time. So I'm taking my time and I'm going around like this and like this. And if you're in 1st or 2nd grade, you probably did this project with me. But let's do it again because it's a lot of fun, and maybe you can do a lot of different flowers and decorate your door at home, or decorate your bedroom, or maybe something for the refrigerator. So here's my cutout flower. Now comes the cardboard. All right, so at school we had construction paper and we used green construction paper. If you have construction paper, that would be great. But if you don't, you can cut a piece of cardboard like I did, and then I'm going to color it green. So here is my stem, and I'm coloring that green like this, and here, okay, just like that. And I think crayons work the best. I guess you could use markers, but sometimes our hands get all messy when we use markers and it smears. So I'm thinking for this project, crayons would be the best. And let's see, I'll finish coloring that. Now, as you can see, I have 2 leaves. So here's some leftover paper I had from cutting my square. And if I want, I can use that as 1 leaf, or maybe I could fold it in half and use it as 2 leaves. And I'm going to draw a leaf shape. And I do this exact same thing in school. And we go from corner to corner and from corner to corner, just like that. And we'll cut this out. So there's so many ways you can make art at home during the pandemic and not have to have all fancy supplies. All you need is some paper, some crayons, some scissors, and some glue. And now I'm going to, let me show you over here. I'm going to draw some veins on my leaf like that. And I'm going to lightly color this in green, just like this. Okay, there's 1 leaf. Let's try that again. We're going to do the middle leaf, the middle vein, and then we're going to do side veins. And we're pressing hard, and then we're going to go lightly and fill the whole thing in with green. Now let's put it all together. We're going to take some of our glue. I've been using this wood glue because it sticks right away and it's easier to show you. So here is a little bit of glue here, like that. And we'll glue our flower onto the stem. And then for the leaves, we're going to put a little bit of glue on the corner center of the leaf like this for the front. And if you want to put a leaf behind the stem, you can, just like this. I'm going to put a little bit of glue. This time I'm putting the glue right on the leaf. And I think, there we go. And we're going to put it on. And now you have a leaf in front of the stem and a leaf behind the stem. And now, once it dries, you can use this as a decoration. So I hope you have fun making your magic flowers. Remember, we started with a square piece of paper. We cut it. If it was 11.5, if it was 8.5 by 11, we cut it into a square, and then we found the middle. We planted the seeds, and we started thinking of different shapes for petals, and our flower grew bigger and bigger and bigger until it reached the edge of the paper. Then we cut it out, not to mention we had to color it, and then we colored a stem out of cardboard, and we made 2 leaves out of the scrap piece of paper. So that's how you do it. I hope you have fun making your magic flowers this week. Remember, April showers brings May flowers, and we're seeing a lot of flowers popping up out there. So have fun. Bye.